The first case involves a man who I am not going to name. Only reason I'm not going to name him is because at the time of the allegations against him was in fact a minor, and that of course is relevant. So we just want to be ethical here and not expose his name so that people can look up the case.
Pause. So she wants to be ethical here, and she's protecting the man who has been convicted of a crime against two different minors because there was a minor involved. However, she has no problem saying what the minor's name is, but she's not mentioning the actual name of Keith Fox, who was convicted and sentenced to 24 years in prison for sexually abusing two different minors. Yeah, he's the victim.
You fast, Hollywood.
Jesus.
Bam! The world discovers that you've been covering up for a serial rapist. America voted for a misogynist, said every actor and actress everywhere.
What, is she like 20 in this? How long ago was this?
Just after they had got finished smooching up to Harvey Weinstein.
And I want to thank you, Candace, for giving me the opportunity to speak.
I do not remember when I was growing up having all of these race issues, okay? I really don't remember it. And then suddenly towards the end of...
That's a nice lie, because in high school, her parents literally sued the school because a student was racist to her, and they got like a $10,000 payout or something, but okay.
Obama, we started hearing all of this rhetoric drummed up. It became white versus black all over again. And I say all over again, I shouldn't even say that because when I was alive, this was not an issue.
In 2007, Owens accused white males of racially harassing and threatening.
Oh shit, I was wrong. Fuck, they brought up the actual rate. My bad, I should have looked that up. Okay, it was 37,000, not 10,000. My bad. My point is even stronger though.
To kill her. Owens' family received a settlement of $37,500 from Stamford Public Schools.
Whoever it is that is calling for speech to be censored is a liar, okay? A liar. I don't care what the subject is. You should be allowed to hear the debate. I do not care who the person is. You should be allowed to hear what they say.
Hey guys, my name is Candace Owens and I am the founder of Social...
By the way, heuristic for you. Anybody that is constantly talking, well, actually, never mind. That was stupid. Nope, never mind. I was going to say something dumb. I'm conflating two subjects. But there are people that like obsessively talk about free speech so much and like, yo, we should all be able to talk, blah, 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 but they never actually say anything. They just talk about free speech. But I guess Candace Owens does say anything. But I was conflating that with the just asking questions thing. People are like, what's going on with this? Why isn't this a thing? It's like, well, I don't know. Have you looked it up? But this was not the same. Okay, there. See, I should have asked Grok for that. I should have passed by him first. See, I fucked up.
Autopsy.com. There are literally...
She looks like she's like 18 in this video. How old are these videos?
Candace Owens and I am the founder of socialautopsy.com.
There are literally thousands of instances of hate speech being circulated online.
So what we do is we attach their words to their places of employment, and anybody in the entire world...
I'm saying this not just like rhetorically, but I think Candace started really, really young in the media. She might have started as a progressive first, actually. Dude, I'm not gonna pretend to ever remember her name. The black lady that I talked to with the cool hair at the PragerU, but she also started off, I think, like as a progressive. And then became like a conservative. Who am I thinking of? Amala Ekpunobi? I think didn't she start off as like a progressive college kid and then she became like a conservative or something? Or at least that's what she said.
Can search for them. What we are doing is figuratively lifting the masks up.
Social autopsy is your digital footprint. So be mindful of the words that you share. There is no stone that I will leave unturned when it comes to harming children. This was the red line. And it is absolutely foolish for Trump to think that he can redirect the energy of MAGA somewhere else and tell us, oh no, don't look over there.
The first case involves a man who I am not going to name. Only reason I'm not going to name him is because at the time of the allegations against him was in fact a minor, and that of course is relevant. So we just want to be ethical here and not expose his name so that people can look up the case.
Pause. So she wants to be ethical here, and she's protecting the man who has been convicted of a sex crime against two different minors because there was a minor involved. However, she has no problem saying what the minor's name is, but she's not mentioning the actual name of Keith Fox, who was convicted and sentenced to 24 years in prison for sexually abusing two different minors.
Performed deviant sexual acts in the bedroom, such as urinating on her during intercourse.
Yeah, he's the victim. He's the victim here. The 57-year-old married man who is urinating on a 15-year-old child is the victim.
All of the blame. They always want to blame Israel, no matter what. The strangest things. Anything could happen. It could not rain for 3 days, and it's cursed Israel. These characters are just being inserted into places to serve Israel. That makes Israel the master of the universe.
Thank you for that.
56th Speaker of the House of Representatives in America. We're here with a delegation of members of the House. We're so grateful to be in Israel, particularly on this day, recognizing the destruction of the two temples and 2 times in history. But it is such a moving time for us to be here at the Wailing Wall. We've offered our prayers, we put our notes into the wall as just traditional, and we're so moved by the hospitality of the people and the great love of Israel. Our prayer is that America will always stand with Israel, and that we will we pray for the preservation and the peace of Jerusalem. That's what Scripture tells us to do. It's a matter of faith for us and a commitment that we have. God bless you.
Why? Fucking loser.
No, a lot of people might watch this and say, oh, Nick is going liberal. In many ways, I have kind of, I don't want to say taken like a leftward turn, but I have become, and I think as happens with everybody, you get a little older and I become a little bit less like, I mean, I would say ideologically, in favor of autocracy, but also just skeptical of a lot of the arguments for it, because there's this old argument from Carlyle where he says the best form of government is where you find the most capable man and make him the dictator. And to me, that just seems like a LARP. I mean, that just seems like role play, because it's yeah, and if we could, make everything awesome, we would make everything awesome, but it's as I get older, I sort of reflect and say life in America was pretty good, actually, for the past few hundred years. It is a stable society. It is a society where I think people have been able to get along pretty well.
When he says liberal here, he doesn't mean liberal like Democrat or left-leaning. He just means liberalism, like a democracy, like a democratic form of government, as opposed to an autocracy or an authoritarian rule.
And so I've been a little more skeptical of some of the, rambunctious stuff I said.
I don't know why in America we use liberal for Democrat. It's so confusing. It fucks so much of the international political conversations or broader political conversations up for political ideology.
10 years ago, and I don't take that back. I think, it's a process, but I mean, just hearing you say that, I'm I don't know, I'm a bit more skeptical of it too.
Oh, fuck, wait. Oh my God, I saw the worst Reddit thread in the universe pop up on my phone. It was a weird subreddit I've never seen before. I don't know why I got recommended it. But a woman was complaining about the baby name that the husband wanted to give to the baby, because the husband wanted to name the baby Alibi. Thought of a really good name the other day. Casper. I don't know. I still think Alibi is better. No, I've told you literally any other name, and not Calico either. Why don't you like Alibi? It's one of the only things I've ever asked for. I work so hard for us. First of all, red flag, loser, but okay. Why would you want to name a child the proof of evidence that a person did not commit a crime? Literally any other name. Okay. This person goes, I'm almost full term and my partner and I still can't agree on a name. We're having a girl. The only name he really likes is Alibi. I think it's atrocious. And it's okay, we both want a unique name, but not something that they'll get bullied for later on / will carry on nicely into adulthood. I think Casper is really sweet for a girl. Okay. And the only other names we can begrudgingly agree on are, I stopped caring about this woman. I thought this was just the most ridiculously crazy fucking thing to just say. I'm guessing this is Marlo, spelled, right? That's Marlo. Corey with the EY. We've got Credence. We've got Jade, which is the most normal one here. And then Sailor. Brah. Really? This kid is fucked. Why do people give their kids names like this? Why do people do this to their children? Sort the subreddit by top for some rage bait. Apparently it's just a meme way to spell tragedy. Oh, I get it, because of the names. I laughed at my sister's tragedy, and now I'm uninvited to the baby shower I'm planning. Uh-oh. My sister is due after an early January, and we're planning our baby shower for early December. She decided she wanted to use my mother's maiden name, Rafferty. That's her daughter's name. Not a tragedy itself, and I guess it works as a unique name. But yesterday I texted my sister that I needed to get the custom items with my niece's name ordered ASAP, so they arrive in time for the shower. My sister then let me know they're going with an alternative spelling of Rafferty. Wait, what? Yeah, wait, what? Ray Farty? No, not Ray Farty. No, this is not real. This can't be real. I would say that, but I've actually seen so many ridiculously, stupidly fucking spelled names that I actually believe it. I texted back an alternative spelling of our mother's maiden name. My sister wants to name her Ray Farty. So I sent back a bunch of laughing emojis, and she asked, "What's so funny?" Oh my God. Have you ever, fuck, when did this happen? I feel like it's happening in the last couple months. Do you ever have a thing where somebody sends you some shit and you're kind of you think it's a joke and you're laughing, and then after they kind of clarify or talk about it a little bit more, you realize that they weren't joking and you have to course correct and pretend that you didn't just have the reaction you did? There was something came up, I'll describe this vaguely, that involved, we'll just say it involved a whole bunch of women making a really ridiculous statement about a thing. And then, and I thought it was fucking hilariously stupid. And then I sent this to somebody that I'd hung out with, and I said, holy shit, LOL. And but I hadn't read through all of the things, and I realized that she was one of the women. I was like, not good. That friendship ended immediately. Not good. Not a good one. So I sent back a bunch of laughing emojis, and she asked, what's so funny? I tried to explain that I won't pronounce it as Rafferty, and she'll probably get plenty of the same mispronunciations. She told me I was being ridiculous. I had to expect my poor little niece, Little Miss Farty Ray. I was uninvited to the shower, and my mom told me today my sister doesn't want me as the godmother anymore. Damn.